Everybody. It's Marty the JavaScript party and my buddy Rhett. Just chilling, doing some code. It was cold again last night. It does look beautiful outside right now. Blue skies, gorgeous blue skies. Um, but it's like I think it's what is it like like 45 degrees or something like that out there. 45 degrees Fahrenheit. I guess that's probably like 6 degrees Celsius, something like that. So it's a bit chilly. It's a bit nippy. Oh no, it's 33 degrees. So that's a little less than 1 degree Celsius. 33 degrees and sunny. It did not feel 33 degrees. We have feral cats that live around us, and I put out food for them every day, and it did not feel that cold when I went out there. And they didn't. They weren't acting all like they were freezing or anything like that. But anyways, so we are trying to basically write some code that is going to place these things properly, and it's going to place them based on the width of the viewport, the height of the viewport. I don't know if the height actually. I keep saying that, and I don't think it matters. And then it's going to evenly space them across, which I could achieve with like a flex layout, CSS, but I want the user to be able to drag these things around and put them wherever they want and stuff like that. So they're all absolutely positioned. Um, but and then yeah, so there's that. So I've been working on adding stuff, and I do have this um, interface that is called ST visualization, right? And this describes the left, the top, the width, the height. It gets the renderer, has a renderer ID. It says whether they have moved it around, and has the element, which is a viz component. Um, so, but you know what? We need to be able to export these. So I think what I need to also do is actually, so I have like the um, renderer ID, so I'd be able to get rendering information. I can't think of any rendering information I'd want, but and it is optional. But I need to go into the renderer and add the renderer. The ST. Okay, so this is yeah, the render interface, and I need to add an of optional ST visualization. And that the reason I need to do that, I was thinking about this through the night, is that when I do my export, I'm going to export off of the render. Like the render, this is what I'm going to export. And and when I export these things, um, oh, so interesting. So I did try to do the native element. Okay, so I don't want to, I don't think I need that native. Let's just see if I'm using this native element anywhere. That used to not even be possible. Okay, I want to replace that native element with an ST visualization, which is a, hit Alt and left to go back to where we were at. Which is an ST visualization. I don't know why. And I think what I've been doing is putting semicolons. Here, let's go ahead. This is weird that it, yeah. So it's yellow. Usually it's blue when it knows where to get it from. Um, and this thing needs to be optional. And I have been putting semicolons. I think I had settled in on putting semicolons at the end of all of these. So all these like um, optional ones. So this question mark means it's optional. All of these are things that won't get that, well, I was gonna say they won't get exported, but the ST animation will get. I think it'll get. Yeah, okay. So this has the scene. This has the camera. The camera has the meshes. So basically, when we're gonna have like a big old blob of JavaScript, and it will basically have this all of this in it, and then um, we'll be able to import these and export them. Um, but like a three renderer, that won't exist, right? We can't. What is the word for that? We can't make this exist in a flat text file. The render ID gets generated when you create it, when you create a renderer. So by ThreeJS, so that won't be our ST visualization. It may or may not exist. Um, but when I do export and import, let's say I had dragged this thing in the middle and made it huge, like big, like I would want that back again. So I need to be able to export that. The ST scene, we're going to export the ST camera. The ST animation, I believe, will export these. It looks like they're just functions. Um, and it's just a function, which is weird to me. Because how do I do that? Oh, okay. I don't know what the heck the deal is with that. Now that I think about it, I don't know what that is for because um, the animations, the way we do it, is inside of the meshes. So, and see, this is one of the things like an absolute must-have of um, of this application is that yeah. See, I don't think that goes there. So let me get rid of this. Let's see what happens if I get rid of that. See if anything breaks. Yeah, I don't think that ST animation goes there. I'm gonna put it back for now and put a comment. I don't think. Um, um, but basically, it's like I really want to get the import export working ASAP as soon as possible. But the thing is I want to have the basics all built out before I do that. But the thing is every step of building out basics I have a better chance of making it almost impossible to build out the the export import. And honestly, like I really hated that in the last thing because I would build out some really cool animations, and then when I hit delete, they were gone. Once I shut down the browser, they were gone, and I want to be able to save those out. But anyway, so now we have our visualization that can go um, on our renderer, our ST renderer. Man, I just don't even know about that name now. I think it makes sense that it's a renderer because the renderer has a camera and a scene. The other one that would have made a sense maybe is the ST scene as something you export, but I do want to have the camera as well defined, and so that is at the renderer level. All right. So what are we at? It is 8:23. I have 37 minutes for work, and um, the so what's next? I think okay. In here we have this, and now we have our children, so we can create a visualization. Is it a visualization? I think. Yeah, visualization. So, man, so what I'm struggling with is that it's almost feels like I should be exporting visualizations. So, like, this should have a renderer in it, and then this is what I should export, as opposed to. But the problem is I don't want visualizations to have to exist. Like, I want you just to be able to have a render. There's two things I want you to be able to import and export, or maybe three things ideally. In a perfect world, I'd like to be able to export all of it. So if I have 10 of these, just like the whole list of visualizations, but then in I would also like to just be able to export a renderer, and then I would like to be able to import and export a mesh. And so those are the things I want to be able to. But I would say visualizations number one, mesh is number two, and in a very, very distant third, the whole, everything. Um, so yeah, it's kind of a weird situation. Um, so anyways, I think, yeah, we'll just go forward with this, and let's go into our. Okay, yeah, this should definitely be named a visualization service, not layout service. Maybe that's what's got me kind of. Okay, so let's just do this. Rename to visualization. And we should get like some more or some help to fix these things. And it says it's yeah. Yes. So I think I can never remember. Sometimes it won't actually save them all. But there's nothing to save. Okay. And so now I want to rename this visualization service. I feel like that all, yeah, that flows so much better. Okay, so it is broken in a couple places, and it is not offering to fix that for me. That's kind of interesting because that. So this is my unit tests. They're upset, which makes sense. Now, every day, this is one of those things that the earlier you do it, the better. You know, if you're gonna do a big rename, a refactor, as some people like to call it, um, life gets a lot. It gets easier. It gets harder every day. Um, pro- I might end up putting this back. Visualization service, because it is doing. It does the layout, but it also does a visualization. But a visualization is a specific thing, whereas a layout is something that controls that. I don't know. Eventually, I think the name will work itself out. So are we good now? It acts like we're not good. But I feel like we've. Hello. I think this is the one we. Man, this is just how things get so screwed up. Because now I've got it named. Let's save and see if that at least fixes everything. Okay, so now let's change this to visualization. Hold the control button down and click on this thing. Visualizations layout. Oh my gosh, Marty, you've made a mess. I'm wondering if there should be a visualization service and a layout service. I don't know. Have to wait for the dust to settle and see what we have at the end of this. I definitely hope I don't just end up toggling back and forth, renaming this. No, wait, layout service makes better sense. I do think that maybe I do need a layout service, and see, visualization layout, yeah, is what a mess. Okay, so now let's go back over here. I don't think this will be a big deal. We'll just change this to visualization.service. Rename. Rename this one. And I may have just made a huge mistake. I just don't know. You should service. Now things should break again. Oh, well, it offered to fix that for me. Thank you. Brett just said you're welcome. All right, so it looks like we're good. I feel like I should stop and start this. All right, now let's just kind of go into the app. Well, so I don't really use this. I saw something about the visualization hash or something. Oh yeah, rendered layout hash value. Rendered hash value. Guess that should be visualization. I think that will break things. And again, this is the kind of thing that just like and this is the kind of thing that was literally like just almost impossible to do before TypeScript. If just renaming things like this was just so, things would just break everywhere and silently break. All right, so we've renamed everything visualization, which I think is a good thing, and we probably need to go to our visualization service. Let's say go to definition and do like a create visualization. And that is going to return a number. And then const visualization ID is equal to 0. Return visualization ID. So basically we're going to have to get like a new unique ID from our ID service that we have. And we'll return the visualization, and this is going to accept, you know, whatever it needs to. I think maybe all it needs to accept is the let's see, what's it called? Let's go to the definition of this. The viz component. I guess we should call this a viz component. Since that's what it is. So I think this is all, like, it'll, oh, it probably needs the renderer ID too, and the viz component. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that right now. Alt left. Which is gonna be a number, comma, and then I think alt right will take me back, yeah, and our viz component, and it'll figure everything else out based on whatever is already there. Right, so it's going to figure out the left and the right and all the other things. Let's see. Save that. Go to the definition again. Yeah, the left, the top, the width, the height. Yeah, it'll figure out the width and the height based on the width of the height of the element. The top and left, it'll figure out based on the count of this and the width of the overall viewport, and that will be false by default. And yeah, that's another step in that direction. I don't know if I'm going to need another, like, end up creating another layout service that's for layout, but I think visualization service might make sense for figuring out where these things go. So like I said, basically, when we create a visualization, it's going to take this renderer ID and viz component. It's just going to assign those. It's going to generate. It's going to use basically the way everything else does. It's going to generate a new visualization ID, and it'll assign that, and then it'll look inside of the visualizations element, figure out its width and height. So this is all hope, right? I hope that information is already available at this point, and then it will get the width and the height of the viewport, and then it'll figure out what the top should be and what the left should be based on the number of other of these things. So that is the plan. So anyways, I think I'm going to try to take, well, anyways, I was going to say I'm taking my bankruptcy law for paralegals midterm tomorrow, so I don't know if I'm going to have a long videos on this stuff, but it is Friday, so the weekend is here, and happy coding, everybody. Bye.